It's 1 week until the holidays, and our sponsor, Minimal Cases, is celebrating with a special offer to Digit Daily listeners. Use the promo code TISTHESEASON19 to get 30% off your entire order, valid until this Sunday. Give the gift of a minimal case to keep your friends and family's phones safe. Just go to mnmlcase.com and use the promo code TISTHESEASON19 or click the link in the show notes for 30% off your entire order. And as always, we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Doud here, and we've got another week in the rearview mirror. And while this is the season to be jolly, I've got some cold reality to hit you with. And I'm sorry if this is what you're thinking as you gather around the Christmas tree or the menorah or whatever you gather around for Kwanzaa, because this is nasty stuff. Now, there's nothing like ripping off the Band-Aid, so let's just get right to it. It is December 20th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. So, right off the bat, I need to reiterate my stance on privacy. I generally don't care about my own privacy when it comes to data collecting companies like Google. If anyone wants to know about the average going on in my life, I'm confused as to why anyone would care, but you do you. So when I tell you that this next story gives me chills, you should probably be downright terrified of what I'm about to talk about if we don't take the proper next steps, and we'll talk about those next steps as well. The New York Times received a leaked data file from someone working at a location data company. If you're wondering who GasBuddy sells its location data to, this is probably one of those companies. And this location data company is not Google or Facebook or Apple. This is someone you've never heard of. This data consisted of about 50 billion with a B data points for 12 million smartphones in the US collected over several months in 2016 and 2017. Now, this data is anonymized, so it's totally okay. But according to the Times, it's child's play to connect those anonymized dots to real people. Take, for example, one phone that went to Microsoft headquarters every day, until one day it went to Amazon's headquarters. Then it went back to Microsoft for a while, until lo and behold, it started going to Amazon every day. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Ben Broili. It took the Times minutes to identify him, and they talked to him for the article. Ben's doing very well at Amazon, by the way. Go Ben. But these data points cover a wide array of people at places like the Playboy Mansion, the Pentagon, Mar-a-Lago, the White House, 2 out of the 4 of which you'd think would be too secure to allow for such leaks, and I'm not completely ruling out the Playboy Mansion. And this industry is completely, totally, unquestioningly unregulated. Private companies can and do buy this information in milliseconds from and to each other. So let's take a look at a worst case scenario here. You work for Boeing, and Boeing decides that they don't want companies poaching their employees. So they buy the data for every cell phone who has entered their headquarters every Monday through Friday for the past 6 months. Then they see a few of those dots visit Airbus. Then they backtrace those dots to where they go every night. Voila! You now have the home addresses for employees who are being courted by your rival. Ring ring, hello HR? Yes, which of our employees live at these addresses? Okay, great, they're fired. Again, that's a worst case scenario, but that's the kind of thing that's possible. At this time, the government can't get this information without a warrant, so let's go dystopian. Let's say the government changes that rule, or just has a private company buy it for them. Now you want to know the name and address of everyone who participated in an anti-presidential rally? Bought and sold, and it's all because you just wanted to know where you could buy cheap gas. F***ing GasBuddy. So this is bad, and this is an industry that has zero regulation and oversight. So what can we do about it? Well, I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm sending my congressman and senator a nice Christmas card that says, "Happy Holidays, read this New York Times article and fix this." There is one more thing. Linked in the show notes is an article outlining steps that you can do to protect your smartphone. Go there and do that. And now that we've all recovered from our panic attack, let's head into the roundup! Robocallers in the United States just had a really bad day. The U.S. Senate just unanimously passed a bill raising the fine for illegal robocalls from $1,500 to $10,000, and Ouch! Now, this only applies to illegal robocalls and those that originate within the United States, and honestly, who knows what comprises a legal robocall, and most of these calls come from outside the US anyway, so overall you're probably still screwed, but at least you're slightly less screwed than you were yesterday. Go Senate. Facebook wants to develop its own Facebook OS to run devices like the Oculus headsets and its Portal device that nobody uses. Currently, both devices run on forks of Android, and I'm not really sure what the advantage would be here. Perhaps it's to better optimize the operating system with the hardware, Apple style, and it works for Apple, so maybe it's not a terrible way to go. But considering VR isn't exactly the hottest field right now, and nobody owns a Portal, maybe that's time better spent elsewhere? Just a thought. Conspiracy theorists will tell you that fast charging your battery is just another way for greedy corporations to get you to wear down your battery so that you have to buy new phones over and over and over. Well, CNET did some digging and spoke with battery engineers who said, nope, fast charging is A-OK, because fast charging only takes place for the first 70% of charging. After that, the battery system manages power input up to 100% at a safe speed. Barring a defect in your charging brick, cable, or the phone itself, your battery will be just fine. Of course, that's a lot of single points of failure, but the act of fast charging by itself won't kill your battery. There are other good battery preservation tips in the article, so check it out and link in the show notes. The main one is, don't discharge your battery all the way down to zero. It's never a good idea. And I'm definitely not talking to my 13-year-old son and my Oculus Quest headset. You might remember we talked a while back about a number of YouTubers getting together to try to raise $20 million to plant trees. Well, they just raised $20 million to plant trees. The initiative, led by YouTuber Mr. Beast, crossed the finish line about 12 days earlier than they hoped, in time for the holidays. The money is going to the Arbor Day Foundation, who pledged to plant one tree for every dollar raised, and that would be 20 million trees. Trees will be planted starting January 1st, and they anticipate finishing planting around December of 2022. Apparently, it takes a long time to plant 20 million trees. Who knew? And finally, this one's a little bit of a throwback, but in one of the greatest moments of C-SPAN television, which I understand is a completely low bar, but anyway, two brothers were on the air back in 2014 in a call-in talk show when... Yeah, I'll just play the clip for you.
Let's go to Joy. No, go to Joy in Raleigh, North Carolina. Good morning.
Hey, somebody from down south.
Well, you're right. I'm from down south.
Oh, God, it's Mom.
And I'm your mother. And I disagree that all families are like ours. I don't know many families that are fighting at Thanksgiving.
Is this really your mother?
No, you're her mom.
I was very glad that this Thanksgiving was a year that you two were supposed to go to your in-laws, and I'm hoping you'll have some of this out of your system when you come here for Christmas.
Oh God, it's Mom. 4 words you never want to say on live television. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Doud, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again on Monday.